Hariom, my dear viewers. Welcome to the most beautiful world of English literature. In this video lesson, I shall give you some important questions with their answers based on the poem Fog, written by Carl Sandburg. The short poem brings before us the poet's ability to appreciate a simple natural phenomenon. It characterizes the fog as a graceful cat, adding beauty to a mundane common occurrence to give it an endearing touch. This helps the readers to relate to the feelings of the poet who wishes to express his association with the natural world. The beauty of nature is brought before us in a very clever and amusing manner. With that brief introduction, let's begin by analyzing the first question. Okay, the first one: comment on the structure and form of the poem. Answer: the poem Fog has only 6 lines containing just 21 words. There are 3 pairs of lines. The first line of each pair has 3 words, while the second line has 4 words. This short poem has taken its inspiration from the Japanese haiku style of writing poems. The poem is written in free verse or blank verse, that is, it does not follow any rhyme scheme. This gives a raw, natural, fresh, and unstained touch to the emotions of the poet that flows spontaneously and sincerely into the 6 lines and 21 words. Moving on to the second question: how does the poet compare the fog to a living being? Answer: the poet compares the fog to the silent steps of a cat. Just as the cat comes stealthily and sits on its haunches, the fog comes very quietly and engulfs the whole city. It wraps itself or surrounds the city and watches the city. The poetic device, metaphor, is used here when the poet compares the fog's graceful movement to that of the lithe and quiet movement of the cat. The cat, sitting on its haunches, again gives a clear picture of the fog sitting over the city and closely watching it. The comparison is beautiful, emphasizing the fact that the fog is a living entity. The next question: explain it sits looking over harbor and city. Answer: the fog engulfs or surrounds the city and very carefully and silently observes it. The fog has come to a particular location. It lingers on or stays on for a few hours, surveying the landscape. We know that the cat is a very cautious creature. It cannot sit and relax in a place for a long time. Similarly, the fog is also only a temporary visitor to the landscape. There is peace, silence, awe, mystery, and a whole lot of learning experience in the feline like entity of the fog. The third question: explain the last 2 lines of the poem. Answer: just like a cat, which is very cautious, that is careful, being that cannot sit and relax in a particular place for a long time, the fog too has no intention of lingering over the city for a long time. It's a passing fog. It has come quietly, peacefully, and gracefully, providing all the much needed experience for mankind, and leaves as silently as it came, having accomplished its duty. Perhaps the poet wants us readers to focus our attention on the natural happenings and not just take things for granted. Nature bestows upon human beings rich learning experiences every now and then. Now, moving on to the fourth question: what is the theme or central idea of the poem? Answer: in 6 lines and 21 words, the poet's appreciation of nature is vividly portrayed. The simple, day to day, mundane, and monotonous happenings in our life should not be taken for granted. We tend to overlook these simple, ordinary aspects of life from which we can draw important lessons. By comparing the fog to a cat, Carl Sandburg makes the fog come alive and be a part and parcel of our day to day existence. Accepting, acknowledging, and appreciating the natural events is what the poet wishes to convey to his readers through this simple yet thought provoking poem. The fifth question: even this will soon pass. Comment on these words of wisdom with reference to the poem Fog. Answer: life is not always a bed of roses, it has its thorns too. It is a mixture of joy and sorrows. When we are confronted with difficulties and challenges, we need to remain calm and composed, holding on to courage, confidence, faith, and hope. Similarly, when life blesses us with moments of happiness and joy, we have to remain calm and composed and not get too carried away by the joys showered upon us. Remaining balanced, equipoised, and level headed will always help us take life in its stride, accept whatever life offers us, and move on unperturbed or undisturbed by joys or sorrows. The entire world was shaken by the tiny microscopic coronavirus, but didn't we surmount those troubled moments? Let life's experiences brazen us to march forward with confidence and hope. Now, sixth question: nature has many wonders that people take for granted and never pay attention. How is the poem Fog different from this perspective? Answer: the poet Carl Sandburg has exhibited exquisite delight in bringing before us a simple yet mystifying natural phenomenon, the fog. Fog is so special to the poet that he decided to pen a few lines about it. The structure of the poem is quite attractive. It just has 6 lines and 21 words. The poet captures the beauty of the fog, comparing its appearance to that of a cat. The poet has revealed his keen sense of observation by laying before us the fog's resemblance with that of the cat in the way it moves and sits on its haunches. His powers of observation also reveals his close bonding with the various elements of nature. The poem is a rewarding experience for readers who are inspired to maintain a beautiful relationship with nature. With this, we come to the end of this video lesson. I hope it was quite useful for you, my dear children. Thank you very much. Happy learning. Keep smiling. Hari Om.